The book Mind at Play by Jeffrey and Elizabeth Loftus tells how video game designers make games addicting to keep players wanting to come back to play. The developers of Call of Duty used realistic graphics and fun scenarios to do this. The book Joystick Soldiers by Huntman and Payne told how Army games such as Call of Duty are government-sanctioned ways of showing how the U.S. Army actually fights and operates.
Well, it's pretty addicting. Just there's a lot of stuff, and especially the new one, a lot of stuff to unlock, and it's always changing. So a lot of people like it.
I think Call of Duty became so popular because it's pretty realistic. It gives a pretty accurate representation of what it would be like, if you were actually in war. The guns are actual guns that you would see in real life, and the multiplayer in it it takes in so many people, and you can have so many people in one game, and it allows so many different kinds of people to get together. And I think it kind of started out as just like almost like a bandwagon type thing where people started jumping onto it just because their friends were, and before long their friends were playing, and then their friends were playing, and it just became something that everybody got into and really liked.
I would say because of the real life aspect to it and how Call of Duty is based off of all the wars that we've had and are having right now, and people are interested in it and they like the online multiplayer too.
Call of Duty is so popular mainly because of its multiplayer component. It really kind of gets people absorbed into playing the game because it really is realistic in many ways, and people really like realistic video games. And then also multiplayer, it's never the same twice. And another reason it's staying so popular is because everybody has it, so all of your friends have the same video game as you, so you get on there and you keep playing and you talk to your friends and you just kind of stay in touch that way.
Call of Duty is so popular because there's just so much you can do in the game. They created it so that the multiplayer aspect is phenomenal. You can play anybody from around the world at any time, and there's a really diverse range of ages, although most people are probably 18 to low 20s, 22 or so. In the multiplayer, you can stay in touch with your friends, you can make new friends. The online multiplayer of Call of Duty is very in-depth and draws many players to the game. Many players enjoy it for relaxation or competition. With hundreds of achievements and titles to unlock for good gameplay, many people can play this game for hours at a time. The online aspect is always changing. If you play a game in single player or against a computer opponent, there are limits to the game. By playing online, the characters are controlled by humans, and each gamer can make it change whenever they want. If you play 10 games of the same type, none of the games will turn out exactly the same.
They both have their fun points, but I'll usually play multiplayer just because it's more fun. I don't know, really. It's just a different experience every time. The single player, you know what you're gonna get every time you play. So.
I like multiplayer better. It'll let you play against more people, and whereas if you're playing single player, then you're playing against just the computer, and it always finds some way to beat you. Whereas if you're playing multiplayer, you can find ways to beat other people instead of just constantly always just being beat or you win. So the multiplayer is far better in my opinion. And I would have to say on Xbox Live is better than say split screen, because when you get into split screen, everybody can see everybody's screen and what everybody's doing and where they're at. And that's not very fair. And so I would say Xbox Live is better because you're playing against more people, and it's easier to hide and stay hidden and to be more successful online than it is against playing against just 3 people.
Multiplayer what type?
I definitely prefer multiplayer just because I'm real competitive, so I like playing against other people and doing doing well against them, and I play team deathmatch because I like getting long kill streaks and getting nukes, and then I can have fun with the game and just switch it around and do different things, use different weapons, and
I can test myself and see if I can beat other people.
So
Because versing a computer gives you limits of a challenge, but it's limiting your challenge. But if you're versing other people, people are different. Everyone's different, so it's like it changes every
Games
time.
such as Call of Duty, multiplayer is definitely better than single player. The single player is a very fun game, but if you play it more than once, it's the same game over and over and over. With multiplayer, since you're playing other people, the game's constantly changing. Some games you'll get in and you'll be the best person out of the 12 in your lobby. Other games, you are probably the worst person out of the 12 in your lobby. Majority of the time, you get teamed up with a pretty diverse range of people, so some players will be on the low end of the gaming spectrum and other players will be really good. And usually the teams get evened out, so they make for interesting games. But it's never the same game twice. It's constantly changing just because you're playing a human opponent instead of a computer.